Book Review: The Lost Coast, a novel, Clay Edison 5, by Jonathan Kellerman. Jesse Kellerman. In the latest installment of the Clay Edison series, The Lost Coast, father-son writing duo Jonathan and Jesse Kellerman deliver a moody, slow-burn mystery that combines classic California noir with a strong sense of place, moral complexity, and the internal tension of a man trying to reconcile his past with his present. This fifth book sees Clay Edison, a former coroner turned private investigator, navigating murky terrain, both literal and metaphorical, as he uncovers secrets buried deep in a forgotten coastal town. The novel begins with a seemingly mundane request. Chris Vireal, a quiet man with the slightly nervous energy of someone who doesn't quite belong in Clay's new world of PI work, reaches out with a problem. He believes there's something off about the estate his late grandmother left behind. Her property, sold under suspicious circumstances, may have been acquired fraudulently. Chris wants Clay to look into it, not expecting much, just a few answers. But what Clay finds leads him down a much darker road than expected. What follows is a journey into Swann's Flat, a remote, windswept town along the northern coast of California. The titular Lost Coast is not just a geographical term, it's a metaphor for everything this story explores. Isolation. Secrets. The things that disappear without anyone noticing. The things we bury because facing them might destroy us. As Clay ventures into this strange and evasive community, he begins to realize that the questions he's asking are ones the locals don't want answered. The Kellermans are skilled at evoking atmosphere, and in The Lost Coast, the setting is nearly a character in itself. Swann's Flat is eerie, fog-choked, and elusive, much like the truths Clay is chasing. The roads are rough, the people guarded, and there's an edge to everything, as if danger waits just behind every locked door. The slow revelation of the town's history, rife with land grabs, cult-like secrecy, and violence, provides the spine of the narrative, but it's Clay's personal journey that gives the book its emotional depth. Clay Edison has always been a fascinating protagonist because he straddles several identities. He's not a traditional hard-boiled PI, nor is he a textbook do-gooder. He's smart, methodical, and emotionally layered, with a strong moral compass that's occasionally skewed by the real-world consequences of his choices. In this book, he feels more grounded than ever, thanks in part to his home life. His relationship with his wife, Amy, and their young daughter adds stakes to every choice he makes. He's no longer risking just his own safety or reputation, he's risking the stability of his family. This added responsibility makes him more cautious, more deliberate, but no less determined. One of the most compelling dynamics in The Lost Coast is the interplay between Clay and Regina Klein, a fellow private investigator introduced in this book. Regina is sharp, sarcastic, and sometimes volatile, a perfect foil to Clay's more reserved nature. Their partnership crackles with tension and mutual respect. She pushes him, challenges him, and helps him break out of his more rigid ways of thinking. Their dynamic injects energy into scenes that might otherwise sag under the weight of exposition, and it's a relationship that hopefully continues in future installments. The plot unfolds in classic Kellerman style, methodical, layered, and rich with red herrings. It's not a story in a rush to get anywhere, which may frustrate readers looking for a more action-packed mystery. Instead, The Lost Coast is a novel that rewards patience. Each clue leads to more questions. Each encounter feels like another piece of a sprawling, unsolvable puzzle. And while there are occasional moments of physical danger, the true tension lies in the emotional stakes, the ways in which the lies of the past continue to poison the present. The theme of deception looms large here. The town of Swann's Flat seems built, in fact, on land acquired through fraudulent means, shady paperwork, and threats both veiled and explicit. Clay's investigation unearths not just a financial crime, but an entire culture of silence and misdirection. As he digs deeper, he finds himself caught between competing narratives, none of which are fully trustworthy. It's a world where truth is slippery and justice is a long, uncertain road. But what makes this installment stand out isn't just a mystery, it's how it explores the idea of truth itself. Clay is no longer working within the framework of the law, which gives him more freedom, but also raises new ethical dilemmas. How far should he go to get answers? What happens when the truth he uncovers won't lead to justice, only pain? These questions haunt him throughout the story, and the answers aren't always satisfying in the best way. This isn't a book that ties everything up neatly with a bow. It's messier than that. More real. That realism extends to the pacing, which some readers may find slow at times. The first half of the book, in particular, takes its time establishing the mystery and the setting. There's a deliberate, unhurried quality to the prose that matches the isolation of Swann's flat. It's a place where time seems to move differently, and the book reflects that. For readers willing to immerse themselves, this pace becomes an asset, allowing the tension to build gradually. But for those craving twists and high-octane thrills, it may feel like a bit of a slog. Another strength of the novel is its supporting cast. From the suspicious townsfolk to the eccentric neighbors and reluctant allies, the characters Clay encounters feel authentic, even when they're only on the page for a short time. Each person he interviews has a distinct voice, a history, a reason for withholding the truth. The Kellermans excel at creating characters who feel real, flawed, and fully inhabited. Technically, the writing is confident and polished. The prose is clean without being spare, descriptive without being overwrought. There's a quiet lyricism to the way the Kellermans describe the landscape, the trees standing like sentinels, dark and ancient, watching him with a silence that felt almost personal. Lines like that elevate the narrative, giving it a literary edge while still remaining accessible. As the mystery reaches its conclusion, Clay is forced to reckon with what he's found and what it means. The resolution is satisfying in its ambiguity. It provides closure to the central plot threads while leaving moral questions unresolved. This is not a book that offers easy answers, and that's part of its appeal. It respects the intelligence of its readers, trusting them to sit with discomfort, to question what justice really looks like in a world that often resists it. Ultimately, The Lost Coast is a compelling addition to the Clay Edison series, perhaps the most mature and introspective entry yet. It's less concerned with shock value than with slow, creeping tension. Less about who did it, and more about what it means to live with the consequences of what's been done. For fans of the series, it offers a chance to watch Clay evolve into a more complex, more vulnerable version of himself. For newcomers, it works well as a standalone, though the full weight of Clay's choices is better appreciated with the context of the earlier books. Either way, this is a mystery that lingers, long after the last page is turned. Verdict: 4 out of 5 stars. The Lost Coast is an atmospheric, thought-provoking mystery that trades car chases and shootouts for a deeper, more introspective kind of suspense. Rich in mood and moral complexity, it's a slow burn worth sticking with.